So for example, when producing maybe or even at KIM, the major objective ni kufunza, so the main cost inafaa kuwa salary ya wale wanafunza, for example, na rent mali ya wanafunzi watakaa na nini tena, na stationery or other office supplies za ku facilitate the teaching process. But in reality there are other costs incidental to the production process. For example, utakuwa labda na supervisor, for example kuwa na supervisor wa walimu ama admin for example. So cost ya admin haiko directly incurred ama directly related to the production process, lakini iko necessary ama iko incidental to the production process. Ama hata cost ya kukula and such, for example. So tuseme kama kwa secondary school the main cost that should be incurred ni salary ya walimu for example, but there are other costs which are essential kama catering charges, yani among others, security, electricity among others, which aid the production process. Sasa hizo ndo zinaitwa overheads. Sasa these overheads huwa saa zingine zinataka kugawiwa to the various what we call cost drivers or reasons for incurring such costs. For example, kama ni kitchen cost kwa shule ina depend na maybe the number of students and maybe the number of meals. Maybe kama ni transport costs kwa an organization, labda na travel na the mileage, the budgeted mileage maybe during the month or during the year and such. So I want us to attempt one question that is talking about what is known as overhead absorption or rather absorption of overheads. Now generally in absorbing overheads we mean, as we've said, tunataka kuona how the cost drivers affect those overheads ama reasons for those overheads being incurred. So una calculate kitu inaitwa overhead absorption rate. Kitu inaitwa overhead absorption rate. Wapi kalamu ndio hii. So una calculate what is known as overhead absorption rate. Overhead absorption rate, what you can abbreviate as OAR. Now overhead absorption rate formula yake kwaje? Formula yake ni overhead absorption rate equals to total overheads divided by total units of the cost driver divided by total units of the cost driver. Cost driver ni nini? Ni reason for incurring those costs. Cost driver is the reason why such costs are incurred. So nataka tufanye swali moja. I hope itatusaidia. Let me get the full question. Wapi hiyo question iko mahali hapa. So one of us can read the question. One of us can help us to read the question. Naweza jiunmute alafu some. So wacha nisome. The question says, data relating to a cost center for the month of June 2016 was follows. Total overheads for the period shillings 2400. Direct labor hours for the period 600. Total direct wages 600,000. Total materials used 800,000. Total machine hours 2400. Total units produced 50,000. Required, calculate 6 different overhead absorption rates. Overhead absorption rates. Good. So sasa wacha tujaribu hiyo swali. So tulishasema that overhead absorption rate ni total overheads over total units of the cost driver. So the most common overhead absorption or rather common cost drivers ni direct labor na direct machine hours. but there can be many others. So for example, number 1 tunaweza fanya ikue number 1 tunaweza tumia kama maybe direct labor hours. Tunaweza tumika direct labor hours. Tukiabsorb using direct labor hours, then overhead absorption rate itakuwa ni total overheads, allow me to use OHS as the short form for overheads, over total direct labor hours, over total direct labor hours. So itakuwaje? Overheads ni ziko 2.4 million, so that is 2.4 million over total direct labor hours for the period ni 600 over 600. So I think that will give us shillings 4,000 per direct labor hour. Good. Next, number 2, tunaweza tumia machine hours. So tukitumia machine hours, then overhead absorption rate itakuwa ni total overheads divided by total machine hours, divided by total machine hours, divided by total machine hours. Okay, so total direct labor, total overheads ni 2.4 million over machine hours ni 2400. Ndio hizi hapa 2400. Sorry. So tukidivide itakupea ngapi? Think that will give us shillings 1000. Shillings 1000 per what? Per machine hour. Per machine hour. Okay. So wacha tujaribu ingine. Wacha tujaribu ingine just a short while. Okay. Next, number 3. Tunaweza tumia hata total units produced. So units produced, we can say units produced, itakuwa ni overhead absorption rate equals to total overheads divided by total units produced, total units produced. Okay, so itakuwa ni total overheads ni ngapi? 2.4 million, units produced ni 50,000. So tukidivide itakuwa ngapi? 2.4 million divided by 50. Mtu atufanyie hiyo, atupee jibu. Itakuwa ngapi? Ukipata jibu utatuambia. Okay, 48, thank you. So that will be shillings 48 per unit. Good, thank you. Next tunaweza tumia, sasa tumemaliza na vitu zenye sio pesa. So zenye tumebakisha juu ni pesa, itabidi tufanye za percentage. So tunaweza fanya za percentage of direct wages na za percentage of direct materials. So number 4, as a percentage of direct material, of direct wages cost. So itakuwa ni total overheads divided by total direct wages, okay, times 100. So total overheads Okay, sorry, you lost my screen. Ndio hiyo inarudi. Okay, so that is 2.4 million divided by direct wages cost. Cost ya direct wages ni ngapi? Direct wages cost ni 600,000. So 2.4 million over 600,000 times 100. I think that will give us 600 and kwa 2400, that is 4. So that will be 400%. Okay. We can also use as a percentage of direct material cost. So itakuwa ni total overheads divided by total direct material cost times 100. So itakuwa ni total overheads, that is 2.4 million over direct material cost ni ngapi? That is 800,000. So over 800,000 times 100. I think that should give us 300%. Finally, the sixth one, we can say as a percentage of prime cost. Prime cost majorly means the direct costs. The major prime costs need direct material, direct wages, and any direct expenses and variable overheads. But in this case, hakuna such other prime costs. So prime costs ni direct wages na direct material peke yake. So itakuwa ni okay. So overhead absorption rate itakuwa ni total overheads over total prime cost okay, times 100. So that is 2.4 million. Prime cost tumesema ni direct wages na direct labor. So that is 600,000 plus 800,000. That gives us 1.4 million, so times 100. Sijui itatupea ngapi? 2.4 million divided by 1.4 times 100. So ni kama useme 24 divided by 14. Yeah, times 100. Inatupea 171.42. So that is 171.42. Good. So that is what it means to prepare overhead absorption rates. So hiyo mambo ya overhead absorption inakuishia hapo. Maybe any question up to there kabla tuende something else. Okay, sijui kama ni formula, hizi formula si ni overhead tu umepewa, una divide by nini? Una divide by the cost driver yenye uko nayo. So you don't need to cram anything kwa hiyo overhead absorption rate. Yeah. But generally kwa MA formula zipeanwi kama kwa statistics. Okay, any other concern? Where are we getting the percentage? Okay, maybe you can clarify your question vizuri, Clara. Sijaelewa your question. Okay, yani tunamaanisha we want to express the overheads as a percentage of that particular cost. That is why we multiply by 100 ni juu ukidivide pesa by pesa bado unapata pesa, if I can say so. Okay, yani I mean hatuna wezi sema total overheads per direct wages, but kama ni units unaweza sema this amount per unit or this per hour, lakini sasa juu ni you are dividing two variables which have the same unit of measurement, that is why we multiply by 100 to make it a percentage. Okay, answer ya Monica ni hakuna formula zinapeana kwa mtihani. Alafu kushika formula kwa overhead absorption rate hakuna haja kushika formula. Wewe unajua tu zile, unajua tu generally ni total overheads over total cost units of the cost driver. Sasa cost driver ina depend vile question itakuwa imekupea. Okay. So I think the concerns ni kama zimeisha. So kama tuko tayari kwenda something else, please type 1. Sawa sawa. Okay. Now next I want us to move to accounting for labor. I want us to move to accounting for labor. So accounting for labor. Sawa. So under accounting for labor, you may be required to determine some few things, such as what? You may be required to account for some few things, kama maybe the total cost ya kulipa employees and such other things. So kwa mfano unaweza hitajika kupata the wage rate or the basic pay. Basic pay. So basic pay ni number of hours worked times wage rate. Ni hours worked times wage rate. Hours worked times wage rate. That is how you get basic pay. Then maybe there could be overtime pay. Overtime ni saa zile umefanya kazi excess. More than the standard hours. So ni hours worked bado. Sorry, overtime. The formula ni overtime hours worked. Okay. Times overtime wage rate. Times overtime wage rate. Okay. then next what you need to know, you also may be given something known as a bonus. Bonus ni nini? Saa zingine employee anapewa job accomplish within a given time, lakini ana accomplish within less time than required. So in short, ana save time. So akisave time na tunamlipa per hour, anaweza sema pana sitataka kusave time juu nikisave time bado mimi ndo nalipa pesa kidogo. So what we do, ile time saved, we share that time saved, that is tunamlipa even for the time saved, but at a given rate, sio rate yote. So hiyo inaleta kitu inaitwa bonus pay. Now the bonus pay is paid generally depending on the formula used for calculating the bonus. Yeah. So bonus pay iko na method zake. Kuna method moja inaitwa Halsey, ingine inaitwa Halseyware, na ingine inaitwa Rowan. Okay, and each method has a formula for it. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah, I've seen you can't see my screen. Juu nilishare different. Hapana, sinaona wengine wanaona. I can see my screen even on my second screen. Maybe Felisters, you can refresh your nini. So tuendelee na kazi. So as I've said that each method ya kulipa bonus iko na formula yake. So let me get you the method the formula for each method. Wapi la formula ndio hapa. So kwa Halsey formula ni a half times time saved times wage rate. Kwa Halseyware ni a third times time saved times wage rate. Then finally kwa Rowan ni time taken divided by time allowed okay, times time saved times wage rate. Good. So tumemaliza formula. Sasa kitu imebaki ni swali. Yeah. Or rather sasa unaweza ulizwa total pay. So maybe let's write a formula ya total pay sasa. So total pay unapata aje? Ni basic pay. Okay. Unaongeza overtime pay. Okay. Alafu unaongeza bonus pay. Kiongeza hizo utapata the total amount that one should be paid. Kiongeza hizo utapata total pay. So that is how you'll get your total pay, assuming this is shillings maybe. Sawa. Sasa kitu imebaki ni swali. So acha nitafute question kamoja hapa tufanye. Wapi swali hapa? Haya, nimepata question nyingine hapo yenye tunaweza jaribu. Okay. Now let us assume some worker. Wacha tu assume some worker mwenye ali complete a job in 45 hours. So example. Okay. Maybe wacha tuandike example hata hapo. Example. Okay. So assume a worker who did what? Completed a job in 45 hours. Completed a job in 45 hours for which 60 hours ilikuwa allowed. $60 hours were allowed. Okay, so na wage rate ni 16 bob. Wage rate was wacha tuseme hata 50 bob, maybe 50 per hour. Required total pay or basic pay and bonus pay, or you can just say total pay using Roman 1 ALSI, Roman 2 ALSIware, and Roman 3 Rowan methods. Good. Then maybe pia tunaweza sema so that tuweke mambo ya overtime, that a standard week maybe let's say a weekly job, let's say in 45 hours for each 60 hours were allowed, then tuseme a standard work week has 40 hours. Okay, then tuseme overtime is paid at 50% more than the normal rate. Okay, yeah, I think that is okay. Sasa tunaweza jaribu hiyo swali. I hope you are able to see that question. Sawa, so acha tuijaribu. So we need to interpret it, tuone vile inamaanisha. So time allowed ilikuwa ni 60 hours, lakini time taken ilikuwa 45. Time taken ikakuwa 45 hours. So kuna time alisave hapo. So kupata time saved ni aje? Time saved ni time allowed. Time saved ni time allowed una minus time taken. Okay, so sasa kama hapa ni 60 minus 45 which gives us 15 hours. Okay, then wacha tuone kama kulikuwa na overtime. Overtime ndio ilikuwa overtime itakuwa ni that is overtime worked ni time taken minus normal time. So time taken ilikuwa 45 minus the normal time is 40, so we worked for 5 more hours za overtime. Now with that we can manage to calculate the total pay. We'll calculate basic pay, alafu tu calculate pia nini, tu calculate pia kitu inaitwa aje, kitu inaitwa overtime, alafu na bonus. So tuanze kazi. Wacha nitafute kalamu ya inki nyingine. Acha nitumie hata green. I hope green is visible. So sawa, so tunataka kutafuta for example basic pay and others. So basic pay, you remember basic pay ni the normal, or rather the basic pay itakuwa nini? Time taken times wage rate. Sasa juu aliwork overtime, tutachukua ile time ya 40 hours kwanza peke yake. So itakuwa ni 40 hours times rate ni 50 bob, and that gives us 2000 shillings. Then overtime ni overtime worked times what? Times overtime wage rate. Times overtime wage rate. Okay, wacha tuone itakuwaje. So overtime work tulipata ni 5 hours times overtime wage rate ni 50% more than the normal rate. So that is 150% of the normal rate ni 50 bob. 150% of 50 bob ni 75. So 5 times 75 itakuwa ngapi? Someone to calculate that for us. 5 times 75 itakuwa ngapi? Okay, 5 times 75. Haya, watu wameenda msituni. Sawa, wacha nijikalkuletie. So 75 times 5 ninapata 375. So you get 375. Okay, so you get 375. So kitu mebaki sasa ni bonus. So wacha tucalculate bonus at hii side. So bonus ina depend na method. So for example tukitumia RC, bonus ni a half times time saved times wage rate. Okay, so that is a half times time saved, tulisave time ngapi? 5 hours times wage rate ni 50 bob. So that is 2.5 times 50 itatupea ngapi? Itatupea, I think that is 125. Then kutumia Halseware itakuwa ni a third times 5. Okay, sorry, maybe wacha niandike formula kwanza. Sawa. So it will mean I write on this. So itakuwa ni a third times time saved times time saved times wage rate. So itakuwa ni 1/3 times time saved 5 hours times wage rate 50 bob. So 250/3 itatupea ngapi? Utapata 83.33. So 83.33. Finally ni row 1. So using row 1 ni time formula ilisema aje kwa row 1 iko wapi? Time taken over time allowed times hizo zingine. So time taken over time allowed times time saved times wage rate times wage rate. So that will be time taken ni 45 hours over time allowed 60 times time saved. Time saved ni ngapi? Time saved ilikuwa 5 hours times wage rate 50. So that is like 3/4 times 250 itakuwa ngapi? Itakuwa 187.5. Sasa kitu kimebaki ni kupata total pay. So total pay, as we said, total pay ni basic pay plus overtime plus what? Plus kitu inaitwa bonus. So basic pay, overtime na bonus. But you notice that these will differ depending on the method used. Yeah. So for example tukitumia row 1 tukitumia Halsey na Halseyware. Tukitumia row 1, the bonus ni 187.5. Halsey bonus ilikuwa ngapi? Ilikuwa 125 na Halseyware ilikuwa 83. Hizo zingine ni same. Overtime ni 375. So 375, 375, 375. Then basic ilikuwa 2k. Ama ilikuwa ngapi? Ya 50 times 2000. 50 times 40 kwa 2000. So 2000, 2000, 2000. Okay. So Paul, I didn't read your messages. Sawa, the screen imerudi sasa. Yeah, alafu unapata, then you add up those values, alafu unapata jibu. So that will give you the total pay. So kama kwa Halsey, this is how much? This is 2500. This will be, that is 8, 15, 5, 4, 24, 58. Ingine itakuwa ngapi? Itakuwa 0.5, 2, 15, 5. Yeah, itakuwa 25, 52. Sawa. So that is how that question should be done. So napata basic pay, overtime. Basic na overtime hazikuangi na shida. So the formula za bonus zinakuja ku apply saa zile unafanya bonus. So that is what we can say about that. But sometimes si ati kila time watakuuliza ati hiyo mambo ya Halsey na Halseyware na whatever. Saa zingine wanaweza kupea their own way of calculating bonus pay. So usistika ati lazima ikuwe Halsey, Halseyware ama row 1. Yeah. Juu kama mbona kama naweza pata swali yenye unatumia formula yenye swali nataka wapi swali. Okay. Question. Yeah, for example, there's some question hapa yenye hahitaji kutumia method. Sorry, yeah, hahitaji kutumia hizo mambo ya Halsey na Halseyware. I think you can attempt it. Okay. So there is a question hapa. Yeah. Acha nilete yote yote iko wapi? Iko mahali hapa. Sawa. Haya. So question ndio hiyo inasema Umoja Limited manufactures shoes. Umoja Limited manufactures shoes. Okay, maybe let me do another calculation then mtaona overtime. Overtime tu ni overtime haina much to do ni the overtime worked una multiply by the overtime wage rate. So sasa kama wapi, kama kwa hapo the time that we worked overtime ilikuwa 5 more hours. Juu work week iko na 40 according to the question, na nilifanya for 45 hours. So ikakuwa that the 5 extra hours wenye aliwork times the rate. Question ilisema that the overtime rate ni 150%. That is 50% more than the normal rate. Ndio ikakuwa 150% times 50 bob, the normal rate. Ndio tukapata hivyo. Yeah. Then kwa calculate bonus pia you just apply the formula. That is kama ni half ya half times time saved tuko nayo, wage rate pia tuko nayo. So difference tu ni kama you are half, kama ni halsi, na kama ni halfware a third, na kama ni row 1 unasema time taken over time allowed. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, but as we've said that saa zingine sio lazima swali iseme ati utumie hizo formula. Inaweza kupea its own formula kama hii question yetu tunataka kufanya. So kwa this question inasema Umoja Limited manufactures shoes for export market. Jobs are allocated to 2 operators, namely Mboya and Uma, with bonus paid for hours saved. In the month of February 2013, Mboya made 186 units and Uma made to 10 units, for which the time allowed for 30 standard minutes and 255 standard minutes per unit respectively was credited. The basic wage rate was shillings 18 per hour for both employees. For every hour saved, a bonus was paid at 20% of the basic wage rate. Hours worked in excess were paid at the basic wage rate plus 2/3. Mboya completed his job in 44 hours and Uma completed his job in 39 hours. A basic week has 40 hours. Required for each operator determine bonus, gross wage, na wages cost per unit. So allow me to do for one worker, that is Mboya, then hiyo Uma labda unaweza jaribu at your own time. So huyu Mboya wacha tuone time allowed, time taken and such. So sasa kwa huyu jamaa, huyu Mboya wacha tumfuate. Tukimfuata tunapata time allowed ni 30 minutes per unit. Okay. $30 minutes per unit na make 186 units. Okay. So time allowed for 186 units. Time allowed for the 186 units zenye alitengeneza tulisema tunafanya Mboya, just for one for now. Although question ilitaka both of them, but at least I want to illustrate. Itakuwa ni 186 units zenye alimake times the time ni 30 minutes, so that is like 30/60, that is half an hour. So 186 times half, that will give you 90 ngapi? That will give you 93. So 93 hours your time allowed. then wamesema aliwork for 44 hours. So time taken ni 44 hours. Time taken ni 44 hours. Okay, so we can get time saved. Time saved ni time allowed. Time saved ni time allowed minus time taken. Okay, so itakuwa time allowed yenye ni 93 minus time taken yenye ni ngapi? Yenye ni 44. So 93 minus 44, I think that gives us, is it 39? Should be something like 39. 93 minus 44. Sorry, 49. So that is 49 hours. Good. The next sasa ni kujua nini? Kwanza calculate kitu kama basic pay. So basic pay ni time taken juu wako exceed overtime sasa. Ali exceed overtime, yeah. Ali exceed overtime juu basic work week iko na 40. Okay. Although still we can take yote 9 hours alafu then overtime ikwe tuipige hiyo 2/3. So that is the other way actually. So basic pay ni time taken times what? Times wage rate. So time taken ni 40 ngapi? 44 hours times wage rate tuliambiwa wanalipwa how much per hour? Question ilisema wanalipwa 18 bob per hour. So 44 times 18 ndio itatupea GB ya basic rate. So that sasa overtime pay itakuwa, I want to do overtime in a different way. Due time taken nimechukua time yote 44 yote hata ile yenye kwa above excess, then overtime tuchukue tu the overtime worked. Tuchukue overtime worked times overtime pay ama overtime wage rate. Still bado tukienda kuadd itatupea the same. So overtime worked ni a basic week question ilisema iko na 4 hours. Sorry, 40 hours. So overtime worked ni 4 hours. That is 44 minus. So hii 4 ni 44 minus 40. So 4 times question ilisema that overtime inalipwa at the basic wage rate plus 2/3. Plus 2/3. So tunaweza sema 4 times 2/3 times the wage rate ya 18. Alafu tutapata jibu. Because this goes here once, inaenda 6. So 4 times 2, that is 8 times 6. Itakuwa ngapi? Itakuwa 48. Yeah. So that is one way ya kufanya. That is different than ile niliwafanyia. Ile niliwafanyia tungesema 40 times 18 kwa ya kwanza. Alafu kwa ya pili sasa tuseme 4 times 1 and 2/3 times 18. Bado tukiadd the total ya both of them itatupea the same. For example, wacha nifanye 44 times 18 inanipea 792. 792 plus 48 gives us 840. Gives us how much? Gives us 840. So hizi ukiadd hapo unapata 840. Then wacha tuone wengine next inatupea ngapi, kama itatupea the same answer. Ikitupea same answer then tuko sawa. Okay. So 40 times 18 ni 720. Then hiyo ingine ni Okay, so 4 and 1 times 1 and 2 over 3 times 18, hiyo ni kama juu sina calculator, 4 times 5 over 3 times 18, 3 inaenda hapo, 1 hapo inaenda 6 times, so 4 times 5 that is 20 times 6 nakuwa ngapi? 120. So that is 120. So ukiadd bado unapata aje? Ukiadd 720 na 720 na 120 bado unapata 840. So wewe ndio utachagua which way to calculate. Sawa. And finally ni bonus yake. Question imesema bonus inalipwa aje? Bonus inalipwa at 20% of the basic wage rate. So bonus pay will be time saved times wage rate times 20%. So bonus itakuwa ni time saved times wage rate times 20%. So time saved alisave ngapi? Alisave 49 hours times wage rate ni 18 times 20%. Tatupea ngapi? So 0.2 times 49 times 18 tatupea 176.4. Good. So that is what it gives us. Sawa. So that is all we can say about accounting for labor. Maybe any question mpaka hapo kabla tuende something else. Okay, any concern? Sawa, so ni kama tuko sawa. So kama tuko pamoja, or kama tuko tayari kuenda to the next thing, please type 1. Sawa. So next nataka tuangalie briefly about some few costing methods. Costing methods. Okay, let me get something here. Okay, so costing methods. Now kwa the syllabus highlights the following cost methods. Ina highlight job order, batch, process na service. Na so far tumeshafanya nini? Tumeshafanya process costing. So I want to briefly highlight, we won't do a calculation but I just want to highlight briefly about job order, batch na service costing. Now generally costing means determining resource requirements, yani kudetermine the resources required to accomplish a particular production process. Yeah. Na resources zinaweza kuwa majorly kama human resource, material na hata overheads. So ukiambiwa job order costing ni unapewa particular job na the costs incurred. So ukiadd up the total costs that are required to accomplish that job, then hiyo ndio job order costing. So for example, labda unaweza ambiwa an example ya job order ni kama kwa fundi wa nguo. Unataka labda akushonee kitenge kwa sijui namna gani ama nguo iko njia fulani, so anakuambia the various items that go into that product. Nakwambia labda nguo utanunua hivi, utanunua sijui nini na nini na nini, ataongeza labor and such. So ukiadd up all those costs, then that will be the total cost for that job. Similar to batch costing. Sasa job ni saa zile unatengeneza unit moja, that is single unit separately. But a batch is a group of units produced together. So that then batch costing involve could determine the value of resources required to produce a particular group of units together. So ni same na job order costing. So kwa batch order costing unaweza ambiwa the total cost of the batch and maybe the total cost per unit. So ukipata total cost for the batch, ukipata per unit ni utadivide by the number of units in that batch or in that group of units produced together. Now almost a similar case ya job order costing applies to service costing. So service costing ni nini? Service costing ni determining the value of resources required to offer a particular service. Inaweza kuwa transport service, inaweza kuwa health service among others. So pia unapewa the various information about the various costs required or other resources required to go into the production process. Labda utaambiwa kama ni hospitali wako na 10 nurses wanawalipa this much, wako na this number of clinical officers wanawalipa this much, wako na maybe na janitor, security, whatever etc, then this is their bed capacity. So kupata the total cost of offering maybe the service under full capacity maybe ni 70 million. So unaweza ambiwa maybe cost per batch, sorry, cost per bed per day una divide by the number of bed days. So for example tuseme kama total cost maybe ya in a particular hospital maybe ni 70 million for example, umeadd kila kitu. Hiyo ni assuming maybe a 70% capacity. Na maybe wamekwambia that their beds ziko maybe wako na beds maybe 200 for example. So with a 70% bed capacity, costs zinakuja 70 million. So 70% bed capacity inamaanisha hizo ni vitanda 140 ziko occupied. So unaweza ulizwa maybe you determine sasa the total cost per bed per day. Total cost per bed per day itakuwa ni total cost ni 70 million kwanza over number of beds ni 140 times number of bed days 30. So for example kama hapo tukidivide tutapata aje? Tutapata let's assume that was a question that you want to solve. So tutapata of course, so 70 million. Okay, 70 okay, of course some few zeros can go, that 0 and that one can go. 14 inaenda hapa twice, 14 inaenda hapo 5 times, so then 2 can go here once, hiyo endelea kwenda. Yeah, so in short tutapata around maybe 1667 for example. Oh, sawa. So per bed day. Yeah, so hivyo tu. So the concept ni the same. Una add up the value of resources required to accomplish a particular process, whether ni service ama a group of units that is batch ama a job that is a single order. Yeah. Alafu unafanya vile swali itahitaji. Sawa sawa. Haya. Then the next thing nataka kufanya functional budgets. Nikifanya hiyo nitawawishia wa success. Watu wengine wameenda wapi? Hiyo ni shauri yao. Haya. So nataka kufanya what we call functional budgets. So kama tuko pamoja kwanza mpaka hapo, please type 1. Tukimaliza that next concept tutakuwa tumemaliza. Sawa. So wacha tujaribu functional budgets. So functional budgets, functional. Now a function ni a department. So tukisema functional budgets tunamaanisha departmental budgets. Yeah, tunamaanisha departmental budgets. Now the departmental budgets could include budgets za maybe sales department, budgets za production department, za purchasing department, among others. Among others. Sawa. Sasa I think it will be good nikipata swali so that nikionyesha format ya budget moja tena tunafanya kaswali kamoja. That will help us save some time. So just a short while, kama 2 or 3 minutes hivi nipate swali, nipate question. Okay, just a short while nipate swali yenye tunaweza fanya as a move. Good, kuna kaswali kengine hapa poa. Akakata tusaidia. Nimepata question nyingine hapo nzuri. Iko hapa, iko wapi? Iko hapa. Okay. Yeah, this question itatusaidia. Okay, let me add some remaining part of that question. Haya, so sorry, my battery inataka kuisha, itabidi labda nimeenda kwa nyumba. Yeah, hiyo niko nje. This will take us around 25 minutes, ikienda sana 30 minutes, alafu tumalize, tuonane siku ingine. So nitakuwa patient kidogo tu so that tumalizane leo. Sawa. Okay, so maybe you can be reading that question. One of us can read for us the question. As I fix my machine to the charger, alafu ndio tufanye. Haya, mtu atusome. One of us can unmute him or herself. Judith, unaweza tusomea ama hata Lois? Okay. Yes. Okay. Oh, sorry, think my screen ilipotea. Ndio hiyo sasa. Oh, imekuja sasa bwana. Okay, thank you. Thank you. So acha tujaribu hiyo, nitakuwa naonyesha formula as we attempt kama tuseme ni sales budget, tunaonyesha formula alafu tuna attempt hivyo hivyo. So by the end of learning tutakuwa tumemaliza hizo maswali pia. Sawa. Sawa sawa. So let me fix something here. Okay. Sawa. So the question nataka tuanze na kitu inaitwa sales budget. So let me just get somewhere my budget formula zimeandikwa. What is the formula? Okay. Okay, that is okay. So sales budget, a sales budget looks like this. Inakaa hivi. So for example, tunataka sales budget number 1, a sales budget. Unasema nasema the product, alafu unaweka the quantity, price, alafu the amount ama the value. Hivyo tu. So maybe tukiassume maybe kuna products mbili, maybe product A na product B, unaweka the quantity yake na the price zake, ukimultiply unapata the amounts. And sasa the total you utakuwa umepata ndio maybe the total that will be realized from sales. So sasa wacha tujaribu sales budget for this question. Question imesema that wanauza product moja. The question imeanza kusema that they sell a single product. Alafu wanataka kuuza 10,000 units, price ni 2,000 per unit. So hapa sasa sales budget itakuwa utasema of course product ni moja tu. The product ni PQ, branded PQ. The quantity wanataka kuuza ni 10,000. Then the price amesema price ni 2,000 per unit. Then the amount ni 2,000 times 10,000. That will give us 20 million. As simple as that. So tumemaliza sales budget. Another budget inaitwa production budget. Okay, so production budget. Production budget, that is the second one. Sorry. So production budget inakaaje? Unasema unaanza na units sold, alafu una add the suggested closing stock, una less the suggested opening stock. So una add preferred closing stock, and then you less preferred opening stock, So the units sold, ukiadd preferred opening stock closing less opening, utapata the production budget. So for example, wacha tuone kwa this question. For this question wamesema okay, others say preferred, others say planned. So the answer you get inaitwa units to be produced. Okay, so acha tuone kwa this question. Tunajua units zenye tunataka kuuza ni 10,000 na swali imesema aje? Imesema that stocks at the beginning of the month are budgeted as follows: 4,000 units of finished goods at 1050, at a cost of 1050. Okay, so tunajua the units za opening stock, closing stock ndio tujajua, but additional information 6 has something to say about closing stock. So additional information 6 inasema the company plans a reduction of 50% in quantity of finished goods at the end of the month. Sawa. So with that tunaweza jaribu our production budget. So let me get a different pen. Kalamu wacha niandike hata na red. So the units to be sold tunajua ni 10,000. So tunaweza sema 10,000. Add preferred closing stock. Preferred closing stock wamesema wanataka reduce closing stock by 50%. So opening ni ngapi kwanza? Opening ni 4,000. So opening kwanza acha tuweke 4,000 hapo, then tutapata jibu at the end. Okay, then wanataka kupunguza closing stock by 50%. So kama opening ilikuwa 4k, inamaanisha closing inafaa ikue 2k. So tutasema 2,000. So 10 plus 2, that is 12, minus 4, that will give you how much? That will give you 8. That will give you 8,000. Sorry, my screen imepotea. Wacha tuone kama inarudi. Tarudi. Okay, if you can manage to see my screen, please type 1. Ndio nijue kama nimewapoteza ama tuko pamoja. Uzuri I'm recording this whole class so one can get it. Okay, sawa. So okay, I hope you can now see my screen. Sawa. So 10, so that is 12 minus 4, that will give us how much? That will give us 8,000. So hivyo tu tumemaliza our production budget. Then the other budget inaitwa material usage budget. So acha tuone kama this question ilikuwa inataka hiyo, ndio ilikuwa inataka material usage budget. So number 3, material usage budget. Okay, let me get a seat. Nikae, ningekuwa nikisimama naweza choka. Sawa. So tunasema about what material usage budget, formula yake. So number 3, material usage budget. So formula yake kwaje? Formula yake ni unasema the materials, units, price na the total value, hivyo tu for each department. So unasema material, kisha sema material, unasema units, alafu price na total, hivyo tu. Haya, so sasa kama kwa hii question tuko na materials x na y, wanahitaji components x na y. Okay, so kama additional information 1 inasema 1 unit of PQ require 2 components, that is x and y. So x inahitaji 5 units at 20 bob na y 3 units at 10 bob. Okay, so for example material ngapi? So kuna material x na y. So material x tunahitaji units ngapi? Units tunahitaji ni 5 units each. Then material y we need 3 units each. Okay, price ya x ni 20, ya y ni 10. Okay, but for x in reality we need 3 units each times the units to be produced. Units to be produced ni 8,000. So 5 times 8,000, that gives us 40,000. Then 3 times 8,000 gives us, yani ka unit kamoja final kanataka 3 units za raw material. So units tunaenda kuproduce ni 8,000. So 8,000 ndio sababu na times 3. So hii ni 24,000. So total itakuwa 40 times 20. So 40,000 times 20. Na itakuwa 24,000 times 10. So that gives us to 40,000. Then 40 times 20, I think that is like 800. Yeah, 800,000. So tukitaka kupata total tunaweza pata. So total itakuwa 1040,000. Sasa, so tumemaliza material usage budget. Next ni material purchases budget. So number 4 ni material purchase budget. Material purchase budget. So hiyo inakaaje formula yake? Unaanza na nini? Ile quantity yenye tutahitaji kutumia from the material usage budget. So you can say maybe material requirements. Material requirements. Okay. Alafu nasema add preferred. Some people say preferred, others say planned. So stock planned, closing stock. So not is it closing stock? Yeah, closing stock. less planned opening stock. Less planned opening stock. Opening stock. So material requirements ndio hizo, una add closing stock, una less closing stock, alafu unapata jibu in terms of quantity. Sasa tumepata quantity, una times the price, ukitimes the price, so una times the price, ukitimes the price unapata the total cost. Unapata the total cost ama total purchases. Total purchases. So let's do this for materials X and Y. Allow me to use a red pen. I hope you can see my screen. Let's be confirming you almost time kwangu. Hello? Oh, you can't hear me pole. But hello? One? Sorry, fix my sound sasa. I think mnaweza nisikia sasa. Pole. At such a time home network inapotea. Yeah. Saa moja kwenda mbele ni kama watu wengi wanakuwa online. No, I didn't mute the mic, ni mambo ya internet. Sawa. So acha tuendelee. So you now want to attend this question. Tutengeneze material purchases budget yake. Let me pick a red pen. Yeah. So we'll do that for materials X and Y. So material X and material Y. So for material X, the material requirements ni 40,000. Hizi requirements ndio tulipata hapa 40,000 na to 24,000. So 40,000. Hiyo wacha nisongeshe mbele kidogo ikuwe hata hapo. Alafu Y ni 24,000. Then add preferred or rather planned closing stock. Let's see what the question says about preferred closing stock and opening stock. Question imesema that for component X and Y, the preferred component X and component Y, preferred closing stock at the beginning, that is opening, is 16 and 9600. Okay, so 16,000 and 9600. So that is opening stock. So tutasema ni 16,000 na 9600. Ndio tuna less. Then swali kasema that the company plans to do an increase, plans to have an increase of 25% of the quantity of each input. Yani wanataka increase closing stock by 25%. Wanataka increase closing stock by 25%. So juu wanataka kufanya hivyo, what should we do? We should okay, sorry for that. Sawa. I think my screen imerudi. So I was saying that okay, so nilikuwa nasema that wanataka increase closing stock by 25%. So closing stock itakuwa kama ni 16,000, 25% of 125% of 16,000. So 125% of 16,000, or rather let's just say 25% kwanza hiyo increase. 25 hiyo ni kama quarter ya 16k, hiyo ni 4k. 4 plus 16 20. So jibu litaweka hapo ni 20. Ingine 9600 25% itakuwa ngapi? Itakuwa that is 4824. So 9600 plus 2400 itakuwa ngapi? Hiyo ni 12k. So this will be 12,000. So hebu fanya hiyo moja, tufanyie ya kwanza, mwingine ya pili. 40 plus 20 ni 60, ukimana 16 utapata 54,000. 24 plus 12 that is 36. 36 ukiminus 9600 utapata ngapi? Mtu atufanyie hiyo, alafu tuna multiply na the price, then tupate the total purchases. 36k minus 9600 ni ngapi? Na the cost ni 20 na 10 according to the question, ndio tuta multiply nayo 20 for x and 10 for y, then tutapata jibu. $26,400. Thank you. So 26,400 tuki times 10 tutapata 264,000. Then 54k tuki times ngapi? 54,000. No, not 54. This should be 44. Yeah, see 54. Sorry. 44,000 times 20. I think that is 880,000. Yeah, that is 880,000. Sawa. So tumemaliza purchases budget. Finally ni direct labor budget. Tukimaliza hiyo tumemaliza kazi. Yeah. So next let's look at direct labor budget. Direct labor. So direct labor budget. So direct labor budget formula yake iko aje? Formula yake inasema unachukua just the laborers in each department, alafu unaangalia the unit that they want to produce or they need to produce and multiply by the rate, or rather the usage in terms of hours, then times labor rate, unapata jibu. So in short, maybe kuna departments, maybe kuna department 1, alafu pia kuna maybe department 2. Okay, so tunaanza na kusema aje? Tunaanza na kusema the budgeted production units. Budgeted production units unaweka hapo. Okay, alafu una multiply by the hours per unit. Ukimultiply unapata total budgeted hours. So total budgeted hours ni una multiply hizo mbili. So let me just indicate that you multiply. So multiply. That is units times the hours, unapata total budgeted hours. Okay, ukishapata total budgeted hours una multiply by the wage rate. So una multiply by the wage rate. Ukimultiply by the wage rate, then utapata, so let's assume that is the wage rate, utapata the total wages, utapata total wages, utapata total wages. Now let us attempt that for this question, and maybe I need to remind you as well that hapa pia una multiply. So hizo pia una multiply. Or maybe I should have shown here. I think that is better. Sawa. So acha tufanye for this question. Kuna two departments, production na finishing. So tutasema departments zenye tuko nazo ni production na finishing. Of course the budgeted production ni kutoka kwa production budget. Production budget inasema we need 8,000 units. So we need 8,000 units. Then question ikasema that kwa production department hours required per unit ni 4 na kwa finishing ni 2. So 4 and 2. 4 and 2. So kupata jibu hapa itakuwa ni 8,000 times 4, that is 32,000. So 32,000 hours. And 8,000 times 2 is 16,000 hours. The next tuna multiply na the wage rate. Wage rate wamesema, the wage rate ndio hii hapa, 100 bob na 140. So 100 na 140. So tuna multiply. 32k times that itakuwa 3200, itakuwa 3.2 million. Then mtu atufanyie 16,000 times 140. 16,000 times 140 utapata ngapi? Kipata una type hapo, tunaona. Okay, 2240,000, thank you. So that is 2240,000. Good, thank you. Sasa I think tutawachia hapo. Yeah, while I might not have covered everything, but what I've done is sufficient to make you pass. Yeah, I hope you will find time kusoma through the theory. Sasa tunaweza wachana hapo, niwache nikimark kati zenu na work best, sijazimaliza bado. Sawa, any concern except concern ya kati na work best, hizo nitajisort. Any concern? I recorded this video, kwanza wacha ni stop tu saa hii.